Good morning, children. This is JC Benoy, your SST teacher. Today, we are going to continue with the chapter Realms of the Earth. And in this video, we are going to learn more in detail about the different layers of the Earth and the components and how they play an important role. Now, the first layer of realm of the earth that we learned about was the lithosphere, and you know that was the atmosphere, and you know that the atmosphere is a layer of gas that surrounds the earth, and it is in place. How does the atmosphere stay in place? The atmosphere of earth stays in place around the earth because of the earth's gravity. It is the earth's gravity which pulls the atmosphere around the earth, and the atmosphere protects the life on earth by absorbing the harmful rays, ultraviolet rays of the sun. Now, what are these ultraviolet rays? These ultraviolet rays are the radiation or the electromagnetic waves that come out of the sun, and these are not very safe for us, not safe for life on earth. So what does the atmosphere do? This atmosphere traps the heat of the sun. It collects the heat of the sun, which is necessary for the survival of life on earth. The rest of it gets reflected back into space. So what happens is that the atmosphere helps to collect heat, and it prevents the nights becoming extremely cold. So that is why the nights are not very cold, otherwise we would be freezing. It's because of the atmosphere of the earth that we, and the heat that is trapped by the atmosphere, that keeps the nights warm enough for us to survive on earth. And during the day, what does the atmosphere do? During the day, the atmosphere reflects back much of the solar radiation, that is the energy waves that are coming from the sun. Most of it is sent back by the atmosphere, and only enough, very little of it is actually coming down to the surface of the earth. And this is the moderating effect. This controlling of how much heat is coming onto earth is controlled by the atmosphere of the earth, and that is why it is so important to keep to protect our atmosphere. Now, what is this atmosphere and how does it control? What is controlling these ultraviolet rays from coming from to earth? We saw the composition of the various gases of the atmosphere. Just a quick recap: it was nitrogen 78%, then you have oxygen, which is around 20.9%, and nitrogen we have already seen, carbon dioxide at around 0.039%. Now, these are important gases because they help survival of life on earth. And though carbon dioxide is present in a small percentage naturally in the atmosphere, it is important because it absorbs a lot of heat. Now, apart from these gases, there are also something called the trace gases. Now, what are trace gases? Trace gases are found in very small amounts, and they include water vapor, methane, nitrous oxide, and oxygen. And these gases are very important because these are the greenhouse gases which reflect back the ultraviolet rays away from the earth. The ozone layer protects the earth from the harmful rays of the sun. So that is why these greenhouse gases are very important. Apart from these gases, the nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, argon, apart from all these, we have also seen of the greenhouse gases. Apart from these, we have the pollutants like dust, smoke particles, pollen, volcanic ash, all the gases that we emit into the air. These are the different components of the atmosphere. So we have to learn the composition of the atmosphere. Now, let us come to the various layers of the atmosphere. So we saw in the previous video that it is the troposphere. What are the different layers of the earth? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. I know in the previous video I told you that the thermosphere is the ionosphere. Now, in this year of our studies, we're going to learn of it as the thermosphere. Let's start with the troposphere first because it is the first layer. Now, as you can see in the image, troposphere is right above the surface of the earth. So it is the lowest layer of the atmosphere, and it extends up to at different points of the earth, it extends from between 7 to 17 kilometers above the earth's surface. So approximately, let's take it at 12 kilometers. And what does the troposphere contain? The troposphere contains nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and you know that these are the important gases which help to sustain the life on earth, which helps life to stay on earth, continue on earth as we know it. Now, it is also the warmest layer because it is closest to the earth's surface and also receives the heat reflected by the earth. So, that is why the troposphere is warm. And why is it warm? Why is the troposphere warm? Because it is closer to the earth's surface and reflects, it takes the heat that the earth has absorbed into the troposphere. And that is why it is the warmest layer of earth as we know it. Now, what is particular about the temperature of the troposphere? As we climb higher and higher, as the altitude increases, the temperature starts becoming colder and colder. So, the temperature in the troposphere starts decreasing. When I say temperature decreases, what does it mean? Does the temperature become does it become hotter or does it become colder? It becomes colder. All right, so troposphere, as we go higher and higher, as the altitude increases, the temperature decreases. What does that mean? It means that the temperature becomes colder and colder. So this is also the layer where we find clouds. And you know, clouds are formed from water vapor. When they condense, they start bringing rainfall or snowfalls on the earth, snowfall on the earth. So these are the different aspects of the troposphere which we need to learn and remember. It includes the life-sustaining gases like nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. It collects the heat from the Earth's surface, and also the clouds are formed in the troposphere, which ultimately bring the rain. All right. The next layer is the stratosphere, which is right above the troposphere, and this is where the weather activities in the stratosphere take place. There are no weather activities in the stratosphere because it is the area which is above the troposphere. The clouds are in the troposphere, and what happens in the stratosphere? It becomes empty. All right, but what happens to the temperature? Now, this temperature in the stratosphere tends to increase as we go higher and higher. Suppose we keep going higher and higher in the stratosphere, what is going to happen? The temperature is going to increase. What does that mean? It means that the temperature is going to become hotter and hotter, and it becomes very hot, and you will not find any clouds or anything in this stratosphere. And because it is so empty, that is why you will find that the planes are all flying in the stratosphere, because there is nothing to stop the aeroplane. There is no hindrance, there is no blockage for the aeroplane to fly. So that is why you find that the aeroplanes fly above the clouds, and this layer of the atmosphere is known as the stratosphere. Now, I told you about the greenhouse gases in the previous clip. So that ozone layer you will find over here in the stratosphere. All right. So what is the ozone layer and what does it do? How does it help us? I told you the ozone layer is now in the stratosphere, and it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. All right. But what happens when the ozone layer decreases? And why is it decreasing? The ozone layer is decreasing because of the pollution and the harmful chemicals that we are releasing into the air. Which harmful chemicals are we putting in the air? We are putting out CFCs, which we studied about in the chapter pollution, which I have already put out. I will add the link in the description later on. Please go through that if you do have any doubts. Now, what are CFCs? Just for you to remember, CFCs are chlorofluorocarbons which come out of aerosol sprays and refrigerators, and these gases are very harmful, and they are killing or removing the ozone layer. And why is ozone layer important? Because it is protecting the earth from the sun's harmful rays, and so it is important for the ozone layer to be protected. Now, where will you find the ozone layer? It is a thin layer of gases, greenhouse gases, which is found in the stratosphere. So that is about the stratosphere. Let us come to the next layer of earth, the mesosphere. the next layer of the atmosphere, which is called the mesosphere. Now, mesosphere is above the stratosphere, and it is from around 50 to 85 kilometers above our planet. And what happens to the temperature of the mesosphere? As we go above 50 kilometers, the temperature starts becoming colder again. So this is like it's like the opposite of what was happening in stratosphere. So what happens in troposphere, the opposite happens in stratosphere. Again, what happens in the mesosphere is again the opposite of what happened in stratosphere. So that is how you could remember it possibly. So in troposphere, as we went higher, it started becoming colder. What happened in the stratosphere? As we kept rising, as we kept going above and above away from the earth, it started becoming hotter. And now we are now in mesosphere, the third layer of the atmosphere. Here now what is happening to the temperature? As we go above and above away from the earth, from the earth's surface, the temperature starts decreasing. That means it becomes colder, and the temperature is as cold as minus 85 degrees Celsius. So that is like really cold, very cold. Now what happens because of this? Because of the cold weather, there is something called the cold clouds that are formed. These clouds are formed because of the ice clouds. All right, these ice clouds are found in which sphere? In the mesosphere. And when you see it from the earth, you can see them on earth like this image that I have shown you. They look very shiny. They appear very bright and shiny in the sky of our from our earth. So what are these clouds called? They are called as the noctilucent clouds. They're called as the noctilucent clouds. And how are they formed? They are formed because of ice crystals that are found in the mesosphere. Now how are the ice crystals formed in the mesosphere? It is because it has started becoming very cold in the mesosphere, and as we go above, these ice crystals come together and they start forming clouds. And when you look at it from down from the earth, how does it look like? It looks like a shiny luminous kind of cloud, and we can usually see these in the summer season at night. All right, and these clouds are called as the noctilucent clouds. Now, this is also the sphere where the meteors burn up. I had told you all about the meteors. I had taught you all about the meteors in the chapter about Earth and the solar system. So in that chapter we had learnt about meteors. We had learnt that meteors, they come and burn up in the atmosphere. So this is the layer of atmosphere where the meteors burn up or explode and they finish, they die off. So where does the meteor burn up? It burns up in the mesosphere. All right, and what happens if the meteor does not burn up in the mesosphere? Then it travels through the different layers of the atmosphere and hits the earth and leaves behind the meteorite. So this is again something that you can go back to the chapter video on earth and its solar system, and you can refer to what is meteor and meteorites. But now you know where that burning up of meteors happens. It happens in the mesosphere. So this is how the various spheres of the atmosphere are important. They protect the earth in different ways, and each layer has a specific natural phenomena, and it has a very specific purpose that helps the earth in its own different way. That brings us to thermosphere. Now the thermosphere is the layer of earth which is just directly above the mesosphere and below the exosphere. And what is so special about it is that the temperature here starts increasing. What was happening in the mesosphere? It was becoming very cold. Now in thermosphere it is again the opposite. So here the temperature starts becoming hotter and hotter. So as you go away from earth, again in the thermosphere the temperature is becoming hotter and hotter. In fact, sometimes the temperature is as high as 1500 degrees Celsius. So that is very hot. Now in this is the sphere where the International Space Station orbits in these, or all the orbiting of this International Space Station happens in the thermosphere, that is around 320 to 380 kilometers above the earth. So this is about the thermosphere. One very particular fact about the thermosphere is that because it is so hot, there is and the wind is and there is movement of the heat that happens. It causes the aurora. Now, what is an aurora? Aurora is this light that is caused because of the solar winds, because of the heat winds that are caused. And when we see them from the earth, this is how they light up the north sky. And you will usually find them at the poles, north pole as well as the south pole. So why do they happen? They happen because of the heat waves, the solar waves that are there in the thermosphere. So in the mesosphere, we have the noctilucent clouds, which are formed because of the ice crystals. And in the thermosphere, because of the heat, we have the auroras, which we can see again from the north pole or the south pole. And these are caused because of the solar wind. So these are some very interesting things that happen because of the different spheres of the earth. Now, the last sphere that we are going to learn about of the atmosphere is the exosphere. Now, this exosphere is the uppermost layer of the Earth's atmosphere, and it contains mostly hydrogen and helium. So, what are the gases that you find in exosphere? Hydrogen and helium. It's consisting mostly of hydrogen and helium, and it goes on beyond into the space. There is no gravity over here in the exosphere, so you do not experience gravity in the exosphere, and the gases that you find in the exosphere are hydrogen and helium. So these are the different parts of the atmosphere. Now let us and this is how the different parts of the earth are protected by the atmosphere. Now let's come to the next realm of the earth, the lithosphere. Now the lithosphere we know is the solid part of the earth, and it includes the crust. Now the crust is divided into two parts. There are two layers of the crust. The upper layer is called the cyle and the lower layer is called the cyma. Alright, what is it? It is the upper layer is called the cyle and the lower layer is called the cyma. And you know that the land consists of rocks and minerals that cover the earth's crust. So what do you find in the cyle? The cyle is a layer of rocks which contains mostly silicon and aluminum. What does the cyle contain? The silicon and the aluminum. And what does the cyma contain? The cyma contains the aluminum, silicon and magnesium. So those are the different kinds of rocks that you find on earth, cyle and the cyma. So the cyle rocks contain lots of silicon and aluminum, and the cyma rocks contain lots of silicon and magnesium. So this is an interesting fact about the earth's crust. Now the earth's crust, we have done the different layers of the earth, of the lithosphere. So that is the earth's crust is divided into is made up of two parts, two layers, the cyle and the cyma. The cyle consists of rocks which mostly have silicon and aluminum, and cyma are the rocks which contain silicon and magnesium. Now when you look at it, on earth on land you will find both rocks, cyle and cyma rocks you will find, but in the ocean floor you will only find rocks that have cyma, that are made up of silicon and magnesium. So this is an interesting fact that you need to remember. Now almost 71% of the lithosphere is contained of water. It is covered by water, you know that, right? And 29% is by land. So the land masses are known as the continents, which we have already studied, and we have already learnt about the different layers of the earth. The crust, which now I told you consists of two layers, the cyle and the cyma. The mantle, the outer core, the inner core, and these are the layers of earth layers of the lithosphere which you need to remember. And the lithosphere is the home of the humans and all plants and animals that live on land. So, and land is also an important resource for humans because we use it in many different ways to live, for our livelihoods, etc. Now the lithosphere consists of different landforms. What are these landforms? That is what we're going to look at. So the first landform picture that I have put up is of the mountains, and mountains are, you will find that the mountains abruptly rise from the surroundings. You will have flat lands or maybe some formations, and all of a sudden you find the land going abruptly up. All of a sudden it is rising above from the surrounding area. That is a mountain. And what is special about the mountain is that it is usually very tall and steep, and they have a peak at the top. So that is about the mountains. Mountains are usually steep, they're tall, they're very huge, and they have a peak. Apart from this, the other landform are the hills. Now, hills, what is the difference between mountains and hills? Mountains are taller, they are straighter, they are more steep, but hills are smaller in size. They are not very steep, they are more gradual. Their height, their curve is more gradual, and they are not as tall as the mountains. So, that is basically difference between the mountains and the hills. The third landform that we're going to study about is the plateau. Now, what is the plateau? We have already studied about this, but just briefly let us see that it is a table. It is also called as tableland because they are flat areas of land which rise above from the surrounding regions. So they are flat on top, but they are higher from the areas that surround it, and they are also steeper than the area that is there around it. And the final kind of landform that we find on earth is the plains. The plains are extremely flat places on earth which just seem to be flat. There is no other feature. Like here in these images, you can see mountains, then you can see flat land. In between, you will find the valleys. Then we saw the hills and the mountains. So you have different features of the landforms that are there around. But in the plains, you do not find anything that is disrupting or that is interrupting the land surface. So they are called as the plains, and because they are so flat and they are continuous, they are very good for agriculture, and you will usually find a lot of rivers in the plains, and that is why they are important for, they help, you will find a lot of population also in this area because the plains are flatter, it is easier to live in, and they have a lot of rivers in this place. So then obviously when we have rivers, we will always find people and animals also ready to live in those areas because it is easier. I'm going to stop here. We will continue this video in this topic in the next video. Please go through the different parts of the video and understand what the different layers of atmosphere are, how they're different from each other, and also the different landforms of the lithosphere. Thank you.